Welcome to Talking with Talamantes and Titus, a bi-weekly town hall conducted via Zoom where our student government leadership can share current happenings and reports. I'm Chief of Staff Hannah Rhymes, and tonight we have some wonderful guests from the Green Dot program. We're also going to talk to you a little bit about the ACW elections that are coming up. We will leave some time at the end for questions. You can submit questions by typing them into the chat in the Zoom room. You can also leave a comment on our Facebook live stream. Additionally, if you're joining us in the Zoom, you can just unmute yourself and ask a question during the open forum section. So now that I've given you the overview of how this episode will go, I'm going to turn things over to our friends at Green Dot, who are going to tell you what exactly is Green Dot.
Hi, everyone. My name's Adam Como. I'm the aquatics coordinator for Campus Rec and also help out with the UW Green Dot program. With me here is Taylor and Molly. There are some other Green Dot instructors. I'm just going to start off by talking about the Green Dot program, and they're going to kind of go into some specifics as well. But thank you for having us here today. So what is Green Dot exactly? What Green Dot is a violence prevention program that is created by the altruistic organization and aims to reduce rates of sexual assault, dating, domestic violence, and stalking on college campuses. And it works by empowering bystanders to recognize these red dot behaviors, as we call them, or negative culture trends, and give bystanders the tools to approach situations safely with a variety of ways, which Taylor and Molly will go into more depth later. We call these the 3Ds because there's several different ways of approaching the situation depending on what is occurring. The ultimate goal of the program is to change campus culture, to send a clear message that violence is not tolerated and everyone is expected to do their part. And so one thing that's really cool about Green Dot is it places responsibility on the community as a whole to come together to address these issues. So why do we need this? The reality is, unfortunately, too many students and colleagues are being hurt. Here alone at the University of Wyoming, the last campus climate survey, 27% of respondents said that they reported experiencing sexual assault in their time at the University of Wyoming. Now, obviously, this is not an issue just at UW. It is unfortunately everywhere, but we are actively taking an approach as a team to try and reduce this rate. So next time a campus climate survey happens, hopefully that number will be reduced. And whether or not you personally have experienced any of these red dot behaviors like dating, domestic violence, stalking, or sexual assault, likely you may know someone who has, or someone around you might have experienced this and hasn't come forward about it yet. So unfortunately, this is something that affects everyone, and that's why it's important for us to come together as a group to meet these issues head on. So a little bit about Green Dot specifically here at the University of Wyoming. Since March 2020, we began with faculty staff overviews that provide an overview of what the Green Dot program is to faculty and staff at the University of Wyoming. And I believe, Taylor, Molly, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we had over 360 staff attend those trainings. We're going to go into specific numbers later.
We actually have over 500, so I think we're at 501. I looked yesterday, so yes, the number has been increasing, which is good.
Well, that's great. So that has been a great way for us to get to spread the word to a lot of the faculty here at the University of Wyoming. And in September of 2020, we began offering it to students who were in a socially influential position, such as ASWSU, FSL, student organizations. They're in positions that were able to reach out to a lot of diverse students and get the word out about the program as well. And that's something we're very excited about moving forward. Some more statistics. We have 36 Green Dot instructors, one of them being me, Taylor and Molly. And they're from all variety of departments across campus. There's UW PD, athletics, campus rec, counseling center, you name it. It's really cool seeing how many people across campus came together for this. And since spring 2020, we've trained 453 members of the community. That is a mixture of both employees and students across 28 individual trainings. And due to the COVID-19 pandemic, our team had to adapt these to be held over Zoom, which we're still working on sometimes, but it's been going well. It wouldn't be a Green Dot presentation without one technical difficulty, or at least for me. So what's next? We're really excited about the upcoming fall semester, and we're hoping that to offer in-person bystander trainings. And this is a longer training that really goes to in-depth about approaching red dot situations and how to be an active bystander. And as instructors, we went through this training ourselves, and it's really in-depth, and it really helps with meeting members of the community and also sharing experiences. And it's definitely a worthwhile training that I would definitely be excited to attend and promote. And food will be there as well for university catering, which is delicious last time. But no, that we're very excited for that to come out in the fall. So here's what we know. Culture change happens all the time, and that's what the main objective of the Green Dot program is. It can seem really daunting to be like, okay, I myself need to take on this issue, but you got to remember, you're never alone. Like, already you can see the numbers in the UW community. Hundreds of people have come together already, so we already have a really good start. But like, culture change happens all the time. You know, in the 90s, social media didn't exist, and now it's all over. For example, different music trends, that sort of thing. So really, it isn't about if we can do this, it's how we're going to get there. And it isn't about one person doing everything. It's about everyone doing something. That's one of the core values of the Green Dot program. So now I'm going to pass it over to Taylor and Molly, who are going to go in a little more in depth about some of the aspects of the Green Dot program.
Hi everyone, I'm Taylor Stemke. I work in the athletic department at UW, and yeah, just wanted to echo what Adam said. So this is like a little bit of a preview of what our early adopter overviews are. So just want you to visualize a campus map, and we often kind of joke about this campus map because the illustration looks like it's out of Hogwarts, with all the curves and everything. But take a moment and visualize the campus map. You can visualize your campus if you want. And we're going to talk a little bit more about red dots and green dots and what those exactly are. So a red dot symbolizes every time there's an act of sexual assault, dating violence, or stalking. And that's going to appear on the campus map. So a red dot can be someone hitting their significant other in a union. Someone forcing sexual or physical contact as a part of hazing or initiation. Another red dot example is when someone has sex with another person without their consent. Another red dot is when somebody shows up unwanted, maybe outside somebody's class or at their car, and you can tell it makes someone uncomfortable. So there is hope. And while we talk about red dots a lot and how they represent the negative behaviors, that's kind of where green dots comes in. So green dots are something we can do to work towards positive culture change. There's something that can stop a red dot by our words or our actions. And they also help prevent things from escalating or happening at all. And we'll talk about a couple different kinds of green dots. So an example of a green dot would be checking on a classmate and telling them that you're worried about them. Just a simple act of checking in and seeing how someone is doing, taking that small action in itself. You can pull someone aside at a party and ask if they want you to help them leave. So you can offer a ride to them, or you can say, hey, our group's going somewhere else. Come with us, if you can tell they're in a situation that they're uncomfortable in. So it's a great out for somebody. Another green dot would be sharing your concern with an RA, faculty, trusted advisor, even peer mentor. Another green dot example is telling a friend that you don't like the way that they're treating their partner. And we want to talk about addressing barriers because we know that taking action is hard, and we know that there's a lot of barriers that prevent people from taking action. And so you can see on the screen, there's some of these that are listed. So some people are introverted, be personality. They don't like conflict, or they don't want to make a scene. And we do polling throughout the Green Dot training to kind of feel the room, and where are people at with this? What's their comfort level? What are their personal barriers? We all have them, and we want to recognize them. So we understand it can be intimidating or daunting, in some circumstances, unsafe to get involved. And then there's also, of course, the social barriers that are extremely powerful for all of us. So we don't want to ruin a friendship, or we don't want to be the squeaky wheel in the group. So there's all kinds of real barriers. We talk about this in the training, and we do lots and lots of practice on, hey, let's identify this barrier, and then let's talk about how we can overcome that, or maybe go around it, to figure out a way to help still, because we don't want to always be frozen in that moment. If there's a way we can practice maybe getting around that barrier of being shy, or maybe it's your friend circle. We want to figure out ways and brainstorm ways as a group of how we can help. So kind of segueing into the next piece, I'll introduce Molly. So Molly is up next, and she works with disability support services. And I kind of prefaced it in the previous slide, but we do address these barriers by providing strategies, and we're going to talk about those, called the 3Ds. So direct, delegate, and distract. And so the green dots that we just spoke about are reactive green dots. Something is already happening. So you see a red dot happening, you're going to react and do a green dot to help that person in the situation. And then the proactive green dots we'll discuss those as well, but that's something we can be proactive with, maybe on our social media, email address, signature, putting green dot out there that, hey, we're not going to tolerate this as a campus, and we care about each other, and it's up to all of us to do something. So with that, I'll hand it off to Molly.
Thanks, Taylor. So we're going to talk about the 3Ds. Okay, there we go. So the first one is direct. So this is something you're doing yourself. This can be towards the person doing the harm, or it can be towards the person being harmed. So we like to kind of have that distinction. So this could be asking someone to stop what they're doing. So you're seeing a fight on campus and you're like, hey, what's going on? Stop. That would be a direct intervention. You could also be checking in with someone maybe after the fact. So, hey, I saw that you just got into this new relationship. I'm worried about you. Just wanted you to know that I'm here. So then the next is delegate. So this is asking someone else to help get involved. So asking friends to help, talking to a trusted RA or a coach, maybe a faculty or staff member, or even a trusted peer. This could also be, talking to the bartender, like, hey, I just saw, this girl trying to isolate this individual, and I don't, I'm scared. Can you help me out? It could also be checking in or having another person's friend check in with them. So maybe you don't know the person as well, but you're worried about them. So you want their friend to help you have that conversation because maybe they're in a better position to do so. And last is some situations need police involvement, especially if you feel like there could be retaliation. So the next D is distract. So this is a way for students to think of a distraction that's going to diffuse the situation or calm things down in the moment. So it could be accidentally spilling a drink. It could be asking for directions from someone who's in a risky situation. Could be asking for a ride or telling them that their Uber is here, or even starting an unrelated conversation. Hey, you're in my statistics class, right? How did you do on that exam? So next we're going to kind of show an example, and we're going to show a video.
There is this weird man making this girl uncomfortable in the store and going to pretend I know her.
Oh my God. Hi.
Oh my God, hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Who's that? Yeah. You wanna My aunt is here. Do you wanna?
Oh yeah, really? And Claire?
Yeah, and Claire.
Oh my god. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
What was he saying?
He was
I
asking me
saw-
if I wanted to go back to his
I was
place and
watching him
stuff.
from
He
like
was so
across the
creepy.
freaking room. He was like touching you.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for helping me.
Yeah. So
There is this
that video showed a great example. Like interventions and things like that don't have to be a big thing. It can be small. And in that moment, that individual saw that someone needed help and intervened and just, was checking in. So Taylor talked about two different types of green dots. So the first one, she talked about reactive, so something happening in that moment. But now we're going to go talk about proactive green dots. So proactive green dots are things we can do to begin stopping red dots before they even start. And the purpose of proactive green dots is to reset two campus norms. And we say this a lot, and we say it a lot in the training, but it's important. First of all, sexual assault, dating violence, and stalking are not okay and will not be tolerated on our campus. And the last one is everyone is expected to do their part. So we're going back to that campus map. As you can see, there's lots of green dots and red dots, and those are those reactive dots. But if you see on this map, there's a lot of empty space, which means that anything can get into these spots, including red dots. So what we want to do is to fill this space with green. So that way it is less likely that a red dot ever gets onto our map in the first place. So this could be wearing a green dot pin. It's really hard to see, but I wore mine today. This could be posting a bystander story on social media. This could be retelling a green dot story, maybe something you heard in one of your trainings or something that you saw someone else do when they were intervening. Have a poster, brochure, or flyer with prevention tips. Adam has one up in his office right now. Have green dot in your email signature. I know that Taylor and Adam and I all have this, and you'll see this more and more as it becomes something that we continue talking about. So this is the big key takeaway from green dot. No one has to do everything, but everyone has to do something. So green dot is helping you get those tools so you can proactively or even reactively help in these efforts. So what's your green dot? At the end of every session and training, we always ask somebody to make a commitment. So what are you going to do today and the next week that proves that this is important to you and that you're a part of this effort? And we give people a chance to share, but they also don't have to. They can just share with themselves. So we have green dot resources here at the University of Wyoming. So we have a website. It's www.uwyo.edu/green dot. Email is greendot@uwyo.edu. You can find and follow us on Instagram, and that gets updated regularly. And then we also have some links on here for SAFE Project, University Counseling Center, UWYO Cares, and Report It. And we're happy to talk about any of these resources, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
All right, Molly, Taylor, and Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to present to us tonight. I'm sure that we will have some questions for you towards the end of the episode in the open forum portion, so stay tuned for that. For now, I'm going to go ahead and pivot our focus over to ASUW elections, and Vice President Titus is going to give you the rundown and updates on that arena.
Thank you, Chief Rhymes. So elections, we have an exciting event coming up tomorrow. Meet the candidates from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Simpsons Plaza. There will still be some snow on the ground, but it's supposed to be pretty sunny, so I hope you guys come out and meet your candidates for the upcoming ASUW elections. We also have the president and vice president debate coming up at 6 p.m. on Thursday, March 25th. And you can submit your questions now for that debate. So if there's anything that you want to hear your candidates answer, definitely get on our website and submit your questions on our Google form there. And you can see the URLs that I've linked here. The top one is for the virtual ballot, so you can learn more about your candidates and who you're eligible to vote for. The bottom one is everything you need to know about elections. And finally, voting is live from April 12th to 14th. So make sure that you check our website and check your UW email for when that voting link is live. And then I'll just go ahead and give you all a quick legislation update of what we've been up to in the Senate. So we passed some notable legislation, our usual working document edits, including allowing for suspension of the bylaws. And we also notably supported an implementation of a concentration in the College of Health Sciences and a Bachelor of Fine Art in Visual Communication Design. We also passed our budget, which was just under $1 million this year for fiscal year 2022. And we're also still working to reduce our current fiscal year budget to offset some of the current deficits that we're facing.
All right, thank you so much, Courtney. We're now going to go ahead and transition into the open forum portion of this episode. And just as a reminder, for those of you who are in the Zoom room, you can either unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can type a question in the chat. Or if you're watching via the via the Facebook live stream, you can also comment your question there. I do have a couple of questions for the Green Dot crew. And the first question is, are all students required to take this training?
No,
Answer.
it's completely.
No.
Sorry, Taylor here. I'll just hop in. It is not required. That's one of the pillars of Green Dot, is that it can never be required. This is completely voluntary.
Thank you for that, Taylor. And that actually segues nicely into the next question I have. Another student asks, do I have to wait until I'm offered a training, or can I just contact y'all and sign up for one myself?
That's an excellent question. So right now we're looking for those influential students on our website. So again, that was on that slide at the end. There's a recommend a student. And if you're a student and you want to recommend yourself, we're going to allow you to do that. So it's an online form. We want to hear from everybody.
Thank you for that, Molly. I'll go ahead and target this question towards Adam and just ask, what have you personally gotten out of this training, and why do you personally recommend it to students?
That's a great question. Going back to being trained as an instructor, one thing was being able to meet and connect with a lot of professionals in the University of Wyoming who also care about these issues, and is really wholesome to see just how many we have here at UW from all varieties of departments. And then for the curriculum itself, what I like about it is it addresses that everyone can have like obstacles or barriers, that we discuss, but there are ways around that and ways that you can help. For me personally, like in undergrad, a lot of female friends that I knew and unfortunately experienced a lot of these issues. And so I'm just trying to do my part to help out and raise awareness for this stuff.
Thanks so much for that, Adam. I currently have one more question, so I'll go ahead and make this the last call. One more time, you can add a comment on the Facebook live stream or drop a comment in the Zoom room. But so far, this is my final question, and it's for Courtney. And this student says that they missed the deadline to run for Senate this year, but they still want to be involved with ASUW. And they're asking, how can they remain involved in the fall, maybe without Senate?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So you can run a write-in campaign if you do want to still go for that Senate seat. You basically are not listed on the official ballot, but you can still get your name out there and let your classmates know that you're running and run a write-in campaign. You can also stay involved in the executive branch when applications open up in the summer. And finally, you can join our committees as a student at large, which makes you a voting member on those committees, and you would enjoy almost full responsibilities and privileges of the Senate without being an actual voting member of the Senate. If in doubt, though, just reach out to the ASW office and we'd be more than happy to get you connected somewhere.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Courtney. Seeing that we have no other questions, we can go ahead and bring this episode to an end. Just want to say thank you all for joining us for this installment of Talking with Talamantes and Titus. And we hope that you'll join us 2 weeks from now for our next episode, same time, same place. And just as a reminder, ASCW is working for you and with you, and that's why we're always so excited to bring updates to the cowboy community. Hope to see you guys in a few weeks, and go Pokes!